I hereby summon all my imps. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. With every Death Knight card being out, I wanted to take a little bit of a time to go over the Death Knight cards. Some of the good, some of the bad, some of the ugly. Some of my hopes and some of my fears about this particular class so far. And I did the math so that hopefully nobody else has to do the math for me. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the core set, which is the free set. And in the core set there are 8 blood cards, 9 frost cards, 11 unholy cards, and 4 neutral cards. And of the 8 blood cards, 2 are double blood gemmed, 6 are single blood gemmed, and 0 are triple blood gemmed. Of the 9 frost, 6 are single gemmed, 3 are double gemmed, and 0 are triple gemmed. Of the unholy, 4 are single gemmed, 4 are double gemmed, and 3 are triple gemmed. So if you want to be 100% free to play, Unholy has the most to go with you at this particular point right now, with the second being the Frost. Because if you go with Unholy and Frost, if you take out the 3 that you would have to run for triple, you get 17 cards that you get to play with, which is basically an entire deck. So, just by running those 2. You can run Blood instead, but basically you're running some variant of Unholy, because the Unholy is the most that you get off of the free set. The next one is up for us, would be the Path of Arthas, which is sort of the middle of the road, which is like a mini set almost. And in that set there are 26 cards, 6 that are blood, 10 that are frost, and 6 that are unholy. Of the 6 that are blood, there are 0 3s blood gems. There are 2 single drops, and there are 4 double drops. Of the 10 frost, there is of the 10 frost, there are 4 single drops, 3 double drops, and 3 triple drops. Of the 6 unholy, there are 4 single drops and 2 double drops. So if you want Path of Arthas, that's basically going to help you with your Frost. So between the core set and the Path of Arthas, your Unholy and your Frost are pretty much covered. So that's the 2 that are basically the cheaper model. The most expensive one out here is going to be the actual March of the Lich King. In the March of the Lich King, there are 6 blood, 1 frost, and 3 unholy. Of the 6 blood, 3 are single drops. You have 1 double drop and 3 triple drops. Of the 1 frost, that is just a single frost in there. And of the 3 unholy, you have 2 single drops and 1 double drop. So if you want the unholies, that are the triple unholies, the most expensive thing are the triple holies, because the triple holies only exist in the March of the Lich King set. There's 1 legendary, 1 epic, and 1 rare. So altogether, there are 21 blood cards with 11 singles, 7 doubles, and 3 triples. There is 20 frost cards with 11 singles, 6 doubles, and 3 triples. And there is 20 unholy cards with 10 singles, 7 doubles, and 3 triples. So my concern is because of the fact that some of these are free, some of these are what I'm going to call cheap, and some of these are expensive from just a buy standpoint. How powerful, how good do the buys have to be compared to the frees compared to the cheaps? You know, do you want to force somebody to get this stuff in the path? Can you just go and get the stuff that, I mean, if you want Frost, you don't need to redo path at all. So, or sorry, the March at all. You just have to do path. And if you want to do Unholy, you basically are best off with just doing the core set, which you get for free anyways. And what sort of is the problem with Death Knights, at least the problem that I see with them so right now, is the simple fact that come next set, not this set, but whatever the next set is, let's just call it Bunnies and Chickens. So in Bunnies and Chickens, you can only bring out 10 cards for Death Knights. And when that set comes out, how many cards are you going to dedicate to Frost? How many are going to get to Blood? How many are going to dedicate to Unholy? Are you going to do 3 of each? If so, that's basically locks up, almost your entire set. That's the problem with this rune system, is there's going to be times at which Frost has more cards, or Unholy has more cards. already there's a problem with, like, how rogues run and when they have to throw secrets into their deck. I mean, how mad are you going to be when you're playing Frost and a set comes out and there's one single Frost card in there? Like right now, if you liked Frost and you're like, man, I want to play Frost and only play Frost, I don't care about anything else. If the set didn't exist before this point and the set came out, you would get one Frost card for this. So if you only want to play Frost and you don't care about Unholy, you don't care about Blood, you don't need to buy the set at all. And that's the problem that I see with this down the road. I also see sort of a problem with the fact of, like, gems. Because, I either see in the future where they're going to make a card that's like one Frost and one Blood, or two Frost and one Blood, or something like that. And that would really lock up how your gameplay would go forward. I also could see somewhere in the future where they release a card that's one Frost, one Blood, and one Unholy. That's just a ridiculous card, a legendary of some sort. Just because that's as much of a deck restriction as anything else. The other thing that I can see happening in the future, and what they might bring to Death Knights, is, let's just say, for example, that a Bone Guard Commander is just the most ridiculous card that exists. It's not, but let's just use that for an example. Okay? If this card is the most ridiculously broken card on this, at least in Death Knight, they have three things that they can adjust. They can adjust the power up here to bring it down to like 7, or bring it up to 9. They can adjust the attack and defense down here. Or one of the other things that I think they might adjust in the future is how many gems it requires. So they're like, yeah, this card's broken. Instead of adjusting the attack or the defense or the mana cost, we're going to make it from 1 red gem to 2 red gems. Or from 2 to 1 if it's not performing. Or take the gem off in general. And there's a problem with that. And a solution to that, because, there's a part of me that would like to see that brought forward in the future also. Because you could make a powerful card for, say, like, Mage, and put, like, it requires, you'd be completely dedicated to Frost to use this. And give Mage, Frost, Arcane, and Fire as their 3. But then you're basically just putting land into the Hearthstone system. This is basically saying you need 3 mountains to play this. So, if you ever played Magic the Gathering, you know about the land system. So basically, when you see something like this that says 3, you can basically say this requires 3 mountains to play. This requires 1 mountain to play. This requires 2 forests to play. This requires 1 island to play. And you only get to have 3 mana in your entire deck. But you get to start with that 3 mana. So, you're really pigeonholing yourself in this design space. Because right now, how many people were mad at the last set for Rogue, because Rogue had to get 3 secrets, which ate up 3 spots. Secret payoff, which ate up another spot. And a location, which ate up a spot. So half their spots were just taken away because they had to run secrets. Again, there's, unless you're going to really sit down and try to balance this out, which I doubt they will, there's going to be times where Blood's ahead, there's going to be times where Frost is ahead, there's going to be times where Undead's ahead. Look at the core set here right now. No, sorry, not the course, the March of the Lich King. In the March of the Lich King, it is basically almost pure blood. So, if this set wasn't coming out with everything else, and you didn't care about blood, this set means nothing to you. And I wonder how much that's going to affect them in the future. Not only that, the number that up until this point, if you got a card, you could use it. How bad are you going to feel if you don't want to play Blood and you get Morgraine as your legendary when you crack open a pack? To you, that's a useless legendary. And I know you can say, well, there's useless legendaries in other sets. But if you crack open Morgraine, you are limiting the number of decks you can play that in. The only deck that you can play that in is a full-blood Death Knight deck. And you can say in the past that there were other cards that were required for you to play a full blank deck, You have to play a full Paladin deck, Like in the last set, the card that came out for the Countess said that you had to play a full Paladin deck. And look at how many people were upset that they had to even do that. The only other issue that I can see with this going forward, at least partly, how many people are going to play something with Morgraine and basically not have too many other or too many Death Knight cards even in the entire rest of the deck. You have to remember that there's a ton of neutrals that you get to pull from in this. And not only the core set, not only the Path of the Lich King also, the March of the Lich King also. So, I know Death Knight cards are powerful, but how powerful are neutrals? And that's the problem that I can see with Death Knights, is this whole runic system. I think right now it's pretty balanced. Because you've got 21, 20, and 20. Frost could gain one more 2-drop, and Unholy could gain one more 1-drop. But that's as balanced as you're basically getting. But next set, whatever the next set is, Bunnies and Chickens. In Bunnies and Chickens, you're going to have to figure out how to make the 10 cards work. And I understand that's going to be an issue for this. But right now, you have a problem balancing out the classes that you have. And now you're making a class that requires balance in just that class alone. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. And as always, remember, play for fun.